Hello, people. Hello, people. Considering this was World Mental Health Day this past Sunday, and I didn't make a comment on it, I thought I'd just make this comment because I had this realization while brushing my teeth, and this is just an observation. But I'm wondering, with the past year and the pandemic, how much of that has affected our mental health? Because it's said that a busy brain is a happy brain. When you're doing your work, you're not having certain thoughts. And there was a philosophy professor here um, that talked about at the beginning of the pandemic how these thoughts were going to happen. I state all of this because Soren Kierkegaard noted that if you keep a brain idle for too long, give it too much free time, they will inevitably think about their own existence and what it all means. So what I'm essentially saying is that during this pandemic, we were stuck at home, stuck in our own heads, and we got an existential crisis. Sorry. Now, I'm not immune to these thoughts and feelings. I have had my fair share of what's the point of all of this type of thought. There's an interesting episode of The Good Place on this. And I'm really angry that an existential crisis is used as a comedic plot device. Because anybody who's had one knows it's not fun. Like Todd May said in his, the professor of philosophy at Clemson University talked about this. He said, if you're here and then you're not, what's the meaning of this? What's the point of it all? If you live forever, you have an infinite amount of time to find out what the meaning to life is. And but if you know you're going to die someday, you're going to have to find the meaning to life right now. Like right here, what the point of it all is, so you can be happy. And since we live in a more secularized world, these questions are becoming more and more prevalent. In a religious world, it's easy. Just do what God tells you to. You're a cog in something bigger, contributing to religion, but we live in a more secularized world. Now, as stated earlier, I have had these existential thoughts myself, being unemployed from home with health issues. I'm even questioning if I studied the right university degree, because I wanted to work in film and television, but as some sort of immortality project, as stated in terror management theory, like having a family, having a work of art that survives your death, and so on and so forth. But recently, 2 TV show writers here died from COVID, and an actress died from diabetes. And I'm wondering, did any of the TV that they write matter? Did any of the roles that she performed in matter? I'm just thinking, because we are not very busy at the moment. Okay, so things are opening up, but we're still in lockdown, stuck in our own heads. And there's a very famous psychiatrist, Irvin Yom, who deals in this. I wonder if we should start looking towards him. I'm just wondering these thoughts. These are just observations. I don't have any concrete answers. Since, well, we can't ignore these issues. Because beforehand, we could distract ourselves with work. Like Mr. Peanut says in BoJack Horseman, the key to a happy life is not to look for meaning, it's to distract yourself with unimportant bullshit until you die, which is what we have been doing. But now with the pandemic, death is being shoved into our faces, so we have to confront these issues. And so on and so on. So I'm just thinking, how are psychologists and psychiatrists going to deal with these existential questions, the meaning of life? What's the point if it's all just going to end anyway? I ask this as well because there's a CEO here in South Africa recently took his own life. Or at least I perceive it to be that way. After he lost his job, because one of the things that gives off meaning is meaningful work, in a secular sense. So, once you retire, then what? You get what I'm trying to say? Even athletes talk about how they struggle after retirement. So I'm just wondering how much of this is just us not getting enough distraction and being stuck in our own heads. And on the whole screenwriters that passed away, I was watching a rerun of his TV show that he wrote, and I thought, this is weird. Even the actress was in the same TV show. I'm thinking, this is weird. This art survives them, but they're no longer with us. It's weird. But these are just observations. I don't have any answers. I'm posting this so that we can get answers, please. Thank you.